He's a representative.
Oh, is it?
I work with him.
Arts was born in 1895 in Paris. Hollywood started film production in 1902. Australia joined the club in 1906. India produced its first movie in 1913. And Pakistan started its career with Teri Yaad in 1948. In fact, that was the only movie we made that year. There were 6 movies made in 1949, 13 in 1950, but the average rate of production stayed at 7.78 movies until the year 1956. Naturally, the fledgling film industry was confronted with various obstacles. Their main problem was the tough competition they faced against India, a producer of films since 1913. Indian films were still being imported by Pakistani distributors, and locally produced movies fared very poorly at the box office in their presence. Pakistani filmmakers kept trying to persuade the government to impose some kind of restrictions on Indian films, but all their pleas fell on deaf ears. The press only gave them lukewarm support, since newspapers were making a lot of money advertising Indian movies. And the distributor themselves had a very strong lobby. Their influence in government circles can easily be inferred from a notification issued by Sardar Nishtar's Ministry of Industry in this regard. I quote, "In principle, Muslims should not be involved in filmmaking. Being the work of lust and lure, it should be left to the infidels." I unquote. So, for quite some time, the branded infidels kept making movies, and the hypocritical believers kept buying them at the cost of strangling their own budding national film industry. It was only after having survived for 7 to 8 long years under almost impossible circumstances that Pakistani film producers finally managed to have restrictions imposed on import of new Indian movies. But the ones that had already been purchased, however, continued to be exhibited throughout the country. Nevertheless, things had at least taken a turn for the better. It was actually after a total ban was imposed on the exhibition of Indian films in 1965 that the national film industry finally got the breathing space desired and deserved by anything that has to start from a scratch. During the last 37 years, there has been tremendous progress, but sadly, not enough acclaim. Not enough acclaim beyond the subcontinental frontiers. It is quite unfortunate that in spite of all the efforts put into the making of movies in Pakistan, and despite the wonderful results produced through these efforts, not many people outside of the subcontinent are sufficiently aware of either the quality or quantity of movies produced there. At most, it's merely the Indo-Pakistani community that enjoys the fruit of labor of the dedicated souls who nurtured Lollywood literally with years. AZ Entertainment has taken upon itself to organize the first international Lollywood Awards USA in the year 2003. AZ Entertainment is Azhar Kasmi. AZ Entertainment is Azhar Kasmi, and the Lollywood Award is his brainchild. The idea was so appealing that Zulekha and Yusuf could not but be part of it. And we invite you too, gentlemen and ladies, to join hands with this young man in his patriotic venture and to patronize his selfless nationalistic cause. Azhar comes from a family comprising of some very talented individuals and also brings with himself considerable experience of having very successfully organized similar functions in the past. I am fully convinced that his able efforts, backed by your moral and material support, ladies and gentlemen, will go a long way in providing a new dimension to our national cinema by giving it the recognition and the exposure that it rightly deserves. I will now request Azhar Kasmi to come and elaborate on his plans for the evening of April 26, 2003. Azhar Kasmi.
Muhammad Aslam Saab.
इस वक्त मैं जिस शायर को दावत कलाम दे रही हूँ वो अपने अशार से ये साबित करते हैं कि बड़ा हसास दिल रखते हैं हमारे
The breathing space desired and deserved by anything that has to start from a scratch. During the last 37 years, there has been tremendous progress, but sadly, not enough acclaim. Not enough acclaim beyond the subcontinental frontiers. It is quite unfortunate